Alright. So, alright, class. If y'all can see on the board, of course, we have that work today. It's about the vice president. If y'all can start research on how many VPs became president, how many women have been nominated for VPs, how does the vice president get their job, and what is the vice president's pay and benefits. I'm gonna have a comment for 10 minutes. This is brief, so y'all could get quick going, so that we can start our lesson today.
Do we have a new study guide?
Yes, sir. I'm supposed to have just last class period. We give y'all a good bit of days so that it's Monday, you have a test.
Wait, it's coming?
Already?
It's coming Monday,
Oh,
yeah, it's coming quick. So, put 10 minutes down.
Cold, isn't it?
So I can see the board good. Posted on Google Classroom.
Yes.
You guys are posted? Alright. So this will start our discussion today, of course, and our lecture of the Vice President. We talk about the line of succession as well. We're going to talk about his qualifications a little bit as well today, as well. Instead of as well twice. Oh, and if y'all, I showed y'all this. I'm gonna put up Peer Deck, so y'all, if y'all can then sign in, I'm gonna put the code also. I'm gonna write it on the board. After you're done with the bell work, ask y'all to then sign in as well. See this launch. There we go. So, Z, S, N, X, S. I just love the names of this. Zesty Submarine, Neatly Raised Xeric Submarine. I love it. It changes every day, even if you have the same alphabet numbers or letters. I mean, it changes every single time.
I heard yours though. No.
I don't even know Xeric was an actual word. It could have easily been said X-ray or something like that. So gauge, what I have for those is posted how VPs become presidents. So what could happen? Yeah. So what could happen for VP become president? What's their if I could read how many women were nominated as VP, and how do VPs get their job, and then what are the pays and benefit as well. So you see there's little ways in which vice presidents could become presidents, and I'll tell you multiple ways that could happen as well. That'll lead to a discussion as well today.
Alright, that's how it is then.
Computer was since last class that their computer just stopped altogether.
I'll finish.
I was set down one. I had in class yesterday. Wow, you're having fun too.
I heard what you did. What you said. Maybe you're the real bully.
Always.
He's the real bully.
No.
Give the classmates some time as well, please. Call me good. It's Michael.
What?
First one, they called me.
Well, Barb said, how'd you just call me? I said, he didn't know that.
It's kind of the first email that, yeah.
You ever ask GT, man?
So much more
I'm
milk.
sitting in the room and blowing my phone like this.
Do you want the lead?
I have a kid. I wake up 20 minutes before I go. This one wakes up an hour before. And he gets in the shower. He's like,
I just saw that. I literally just started it in my head.
15
What
minutes.
happened to you?
We're missing 3. Oh, did your mom
Still 34 for the parents.
No, I tell him. I just said like take it. He tells.
What?
I go by myself.
Well, it's,
You big boy?
Yeah.
okay. So it's.
But no, I just said to the park because if we need to win that game.
He took me to love his Nixon is not.
See, I'm doing
That's how they
because I'm gonna have to leave the house.
But still doesn't have.
If we do trailer, I'm a group. Number 2, there's more. Only
One was successful, and it's a nomination, and nominated is the key word. Nominated is not being elected.
So it's 2.
No research.
It's more than that, cool. We don't know what they're talking about.
Anyone nominated woman beside Paula.
Okay.
She was from Alaska.
Well, one was 2008, one was 1990.
It says no paragraph record.
Okay, no, you
I know the date.
you-
I don't look at the name. 1984.
These right.
Sarah Pollen,
Palin.
Palin,
She's just.
and Geraldine Ferrario. Ferrara.
Geraldine.
So why don't we need the vice president? They got like booted.
Nominated is not so that you give a person, like this is your person you want for vice president. So it's not a guarantee that this person will become vice president. It's just a person selected by, or who's wanted to run for vice president. It's nomination is not exactly a guarantee. So, like, so say for our upcoming election, we have Trump, we have Biden go for re-election, want to go for re-election. The governor of Florida, DeSantis, maybe potentially be, like elected, so he might nominate himself. He's a potential. So there's candidates who were nominated. There's candidates are prospective, or a lot of news are thinking that they might say that I'm running for president. And then sometimes like you might think, hey, this person might be running for president. He was talking a lot of stuff. It's like he will, but then he drops out initially before even the race starts. So nomination is just, hey, I'm putting my name in, or some other people would call and you want to be president. I say, hey, I got my group of people who want you, and I'm nominating you for president.
Cole, I nominate you for president.
Yeah, I would be a great president.
Well, okay, so if you're president, what's the first thing you did? Like, call them all.
National park.
So you got a minute and 25 seconds left before we start the discussion of the bell work. Now I'll call out individually, answer the questions, of course.
What? No, go ahead. Hey, on.
Maybe like maybe it'll be good to show me those ones.
Kind of is, though. I mean,
It's hard to
Of course, we have 50 seconds. Then we conclude the discussion.
Oh, you're in there like school. I'm locked.
It's 3 now, number 2 is 3.
So let's see.
When they're chasing the
Damn, I can't.
So I see none of y'all logged into Pure Deck. How many of y'all are here today? Let's see. So 20. Oh, 17. So we have 16. So what was there? We have 11 so far. Right. So the time ran out. See, we have 14.
You're sad.
We need 2 more people. Who still needs to log in? All right, well, we're fine. Who else still needs to log in? Sometimes this is long, so it's 15. Okay. Well, still going. All right.
Crazy anatomy of it.
This is my
What am I, chopped liver?
It was 11.
What am I, chopped liver?
y'all are my best class that everybody signed in to Peer Deck this week. So thank y'all.
Yes.
Other classes had issues with their Chromebooks not even starting, and it was corrupted like we've been having for the past like couple weeks. And others, like they tried on their phone died. I'm like, that's upsetting. So we can start. So how many VPs have became presidents? Let's start with red 2. Black 4. Got Matthew. 15. Did you look through, break it down a little bit? Were you able to find some further information? So, who can help him out with that? Who found that?
Wait.
Veronica, we had that conversation.
8 succeeded the office on the death of President. 4 were later elected.
So 8 succeeded because of the death of presidents. 4 were elected later on. They ran for election afterwards. 1 we know as that was the resigning of Nixon, which of course then his VP became president. So y'all can see how vice presidents could become presidents either through tragedy where a president passes away in office, through some re-election. Of course, you're serving as a vice president, but that doesn't prevent you becoming president at a later time. You still have the ability, doesn't have a designation like the term limits as a president. You can run for vice president, go for vice president, do 2 terms of vice president, then be elected for president for another 2 terms. But essentially, you have the White House for 4 terms, but 2 different designated offices or titles. So essentially, somebody could be 4 terms altogether, but be in 2 different roles. So, how many women have been nominated for VP? Let's see, red 9, 3. Who has been successful? Kamala Harris, yes. So the other 2 were Sarah Palin from Alaska and Geraldine Ferraro. That was back in 1984, right? And but it also shows there hasn't been so much of an attempt yet for women to assume power, but it also shows that there's no restraint. It was never designated in our the Constitution that there was a certain gender or race could be elected as a president or as a vice president. So you see as Kamala Harris, of course she's a woman, she's of African and Asian descent, so not the stereotypical or seen white Anglo-Saxon presidents or white Anglo-Saxon vice presidents as times before. It was just a norm of who was running at the time. So now, as we see, Kamala Harris, first female vice president, you could probably see in your future, when y'all get older, you could probably see a female president or some more female vice presidents in time coming. So, how does the VP get their job? Black 9, Mr. Gage.
By the people to the electoral college.
Right. So they get the position by being elected from the electoral college. It's usually now set, if y'all remember from last class, where the electoral college, these votes weren't casted in the same pot anymore. There's no more confusion with now Federalists in 1796 having a Federalist president and a Democratic Republican vice president. Now we have running mates where a Democrat president will run with a running mate with the same party and vice versa with a Republican from the same party. So they go through the same system of the Electoral College being nominated, and then the Electoral College voted for both president and vice president. So, question 4. What is the VP's pay and benefits? Black 6. What you got, Harrison?
They get paid like 235, and they get paid health and medical benefits with retirement, and while still in office.
What else? What other physical thing that they also get?
Housing.
They
Yes,
get home, yeah, office.
Do you know the name of the residency?
Mm-hmm.
So it's of course, the Vice President Mansion. It's in the U.S. Navy Observatory. It wasn't designated directly for the VP's home residency. It wasn't that significant, or it was actually designated for the secretaries. I believe it was Secretary of Defense before 1974. And it became a designated location for where the Vice President was housed.